Try again. Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. Thank you for finding my channel. I'm really delighted. First, before I go any further, I want to say thank you very much to new subscribers. In fact, all my subscribers. Thank you very much for people who leave comments and like. It means a lot to me. So thank you. Just thank you. It's really special. So, this is my question. Kellyanne Conway, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Okay, as a woman, they make women look bad. It is mind-boggling to me. Honestly, it is. What goes on in these people's heads? Like, I can't figure out if Kellyanne is just so devious, she wouldn't know straight if she saw straight in front of her in terms of doing the right thing. That Huckabee chick, I'm telling you, I think she's just kind of dumb. I really do. Like, I think she drank the Kool-Aid and she had an extra large. So let's see if my feelings about them are reflected in the cards, and we'll find out what we find out. So I'm going to give them a good shuffle, and we will see what the cards have to tell us. So I think I'm going to do two separate readings. So I'm going to start with Kellyanne Conway. So for Kellyanne Conway, what is her story? What is she doing in the White House? I mean, really, is she living in such an alternative universe? Like, I don't think so. I think she's a snake, and I think that she has a great deal of clarity about what she's doing, and I think what she's doing is because it suits Kellyanne and nobody else. So let's cut these cards and see what we find out. Kellyanne Conway. Okay, so in the center we have the Ten of Cups, followed by the Eight of Swords. At her base is the Queen of Cups. Immediately behind her, Ten of Swords. On top of her, Six of Swords, Ace of Wands in front of her. Then we have the Queen of Wands, we have the Two of Cups, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Two of Wands. So let's just take a look and see the story that these cards are telling us about Miss Kellyanne Conway. Everything she does, everything, is for the safety and the security of her family. Don't for 1 second think that she is actually loyal to Trump. She is not. Okay, now that doesn't make her less of a piece of scum, but it just means that she's completely motivated by protecting her and her family, by providing for her and her family, by keeping her and her family safe. And when change comes for her, it's going to come fast, and it's not going to be very pleasant. She's very good at keeping her story separate from reality. So, I mean, oftentimes, you know, as we become aware, she is often the source close to the White House. An inside source says, somebody with knowledge of the situation says. That is often Kellyanne and her doing. And what I'm saying is that she is really able to separate the crap and the stories that she spews out there to keep Trump happy versus what she actually thinks and what she actually believes. And when you watch her, although to be perfectly fair, I really try not to watch her too often. I have 2 dogs in this house, and as soon as they hear her voice, they start like howling. However, if you mute the sound and you watch her, she's just lying. You can just simply tell she is lying. She's just kind of saying whatever words come to mind. She's just spewing whatever it is that she thinks is going to. It's almost like any ability that she had to be a really clever strategist sort of got muted or tamped down when she started hanging around with Trump, because Trump just is like, say whatever you have to say. I don't care. It doesn't matter if it's true. And she has also got sucked into that. Now, please, I'm not defending her. I think, if you're up for sale, at some point, you're going to get sold. Simple as that. Okay, so what's above her is the 6 of Swords. So what I want to say is that even though our perception, the public perception of her, especially those who are not a big fan of hers, are kind of see it as she's always in rough waters. She's always stirring up trouble. She's, always messing things up. And the other side of that, the other balance of that equation for her is that, remember, she is totally and completely driven by it being smooth sailing for her family and for her marriage. Do not think for one second that her and George are on opposite sides, of a situation or a problem, or their thinking processes. They're very simpatico. And so what you have is her being in a position of, okay, well, I'm going to lie, I'm going to tell a story. And then George Conway kind of dials it back and sets out a bunch of tweets, sort of in an attempt to off-balance some of the crap that's been spewing out of her mouth. But do not think that this is in any way putting their marriage in jeopardy. It is not. They are very much on the same page about what they think of Trump. The difference is one of them has to lie to keep their job, and one of them can say whatever he wants. I don't know, we don't know who Anonymous was. We don't know who those people were who signed that letter that they sent to the newspaper, basically saying, if you think what's going on is bad, you don't understand, we're here trying to save you from worse. She, in my opinion, is definitely in that group. But again, she's completely motivated by what she wants. And she carries, frankly, a big enough stick in the White House that, she gets away with it. People know she's a source for all kinds of stories. People know that she's not true, but Trump doesn't. And so that's where her power comes from. Again, this here is representing the fact that her and her husband are of one mind. They are not, they're not in opposite directions on this. She's working hard. She's working hard because she is trying to accumulate those pentacles, those possessions, the money, the house, the status. That's what she sees. That's what's motivating her. And it would appear that, that is her focus. That's the environment she's in. That's what she's trying to accomplish. And in some ways, she actually lives in fear of not being able to, make it happen, to get all the little eggs in her basket before time runs out. She is also looking sort of across the seas. She is looking internationally. I would not be surprised if, whenever it's all said and done and Trump is out of the office, if she doesn't sort of take a job perhaps internationally, out of the country, out of the U.S., and go and ply her hoard trade somewhere else. Okay, well, that's just profoundly disappointing. Okay, so with the Four of Wands and the Star card here, it is her hope that she can shift the narrative in terms of it with regards to her, and put a good spin on it, cast it in a good light. There will be, a tell-all book. There will be you should be glad I was there because, man, you can't even imagine the stuff I stopped. Some people will buy it. A lot of people will not. I don't know that she's going to have that easy a time of it when she leaves. It's one of the oddities about the whole Trump situation that people who had reputations, good reputations, I mean, whether you agreed with them politically or not, I mean, their reputations at least were intact. And it's like once they get hooked up with Trump, good golly, it doesn't seem to take very long at all before their reputation is in tatters. And what's more scary is they don't seem to know it. They don't recognize it. They just think that this is all fine and they're going to just be able to brush it under the carpet. And guess what? You know what, folks? It's not going to work that way. Because this is one of the things you have to realize. With Trump, he sent the pendulum swinging so far in one direction. When you send a pendulum so far in that direction, trust me, it goes so far in this direction. It's not like it settles into middle ground. So everything that Trump was, the behaviors, the things that are tolerated, the things that we watch and they fatigue us and exhaust us, in the next presidency, that is going to be verboten. People are going to absolutely stand up and rebel against it. They just can't take it. It goes from one extreme to another, and Trump has pushed that extreme in one direction. So the next time, you can almost look forward to a president who is the polar opposite of Trump. Ultimately, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I guess that's for the United States to figure out. But certainly, it will give people an opportunity, perhaps, to gain some perspective about what exactly it is that went on in the last, 4 years when it's said and done. Okay, I'm going to shuffle the cards. Just give them a quick couple more shuffles. And I am focusing on Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Sarah Huckabee, what is your story? What is it that runs through that apparently empty little head of yours? Who is it that you're mothering and protecting, and why? So let's just see. And, we get to some degree, and I don't mean to insult or cast aspersions. However, we get that a lot of evangelical people sort of tend to live in, talk about an alternate universe, right? I mean, they live in a universe where everything they do is perfect and right and in God's image and what God wants. And the whole rest of the planet is wrong and evil, and they have no morals, and But my question is this: her daddy's a preacher, is he not? So how did she bend that far? Like, we get that even going into it, it's not exactly like her thoughts aligned with a lot of people in the United States. But how did she get that far off track? Okay, so let's see what we can find out about Sarah Huckabee Sanders. The government, retreat, tricks, foolish moves, isolation, carrying a burden. Hands crossed, doesn't know what to do. Knight of Swords, charging in without regard for where she's going to end up. Disappointment, walking away, abandonment, and fighting off the masses. Okay, well, honestly, okay, people, I got to tell you, this cheers me up. Sorry about that. But it does. It cheers me up, because what we have here is we have somebody who is simply not going to have a good road ahead. I'm sorry. Karma's a bitch. I mean, if nobody told her that because she was too busy doing Bible study, karma's a bitch. And she's going to get nailed with it. Oh, my goodness. So this is her in the government doing her thing. She is in retreat, which anybody could tell, because when was the last time exactly that there was a press conference? Well, one that she gave, one of those, whatever those things are called. It's been a long time. Trump doesn't really want her talking too much because it's almost more than she can lie about. And he knows that, he recognizes that. And so he's pulled her back away from sort of public view. She's in retreat. She kind of used up her bag of dirty tricks. She doesn't have any more to draw on, which is how come lately, when she gets backed into a corner, she's just so defensive and so feisty and kind of belligerent and angry. She doesn't have the slightest clue how to back herself out of this. She's simply a fool. She took a leap of faith, a big giant jump off the cliff, and figured out that, oh no, I wasn't landing on a fluffy cloud. I wasn't, falling into beautiful blue Caribbean waters. I landed on a bunch of mountain peaks and they're up my butt. She recognizes to some degree that she's in trouble, but there is a part of her that is just still really enamored, just enamored by this guy. It's kind of like icky. The Hermit. So what overrides her is that she is in a sense of isolation. She is being kept to the side or pushed back or whatever it is, but she's not being kind of, she's no longer one of the front lines. She's not a go-to for Trump. He just feels that she knows too much, so we're going to keep her quiet. We're not going to kind of set her free, but because if we set her free, they might get her to testify. I don't want that to happen. So he's going to keep her around, but he's also going to keep her access very, very limited. She's in trouble, folks. She is just in trouble. You have literally blinded, does not know where to go, does not know what move to take. She has no way left to wiggle. She's just trapped. She does what she does without thinking of the consequences. That's sort of probably one of the most fascinating things about her, is she should know better, but when Trump wants her to lie, she just lies. She doesn't think, oh my God, this could be taped. Oh my God, somebody could call me on this behavior. Oh my God, what is this doing to my reputation? None of that. It's like Trump wants me to say this, the sky is purple and yellow striped. I will say the sky is purple and yellow striped because that's what Trump wants. No mind. This chick has no mind of her own. I can't see actually a working brain cell here. Okay, and we've got the Eight of Cups, which is abandonment. It is disappointment. The question is she going to be the one who abandons the situation, or is Trump going to abandon her? I'm going to get a clarifier on that in a second. And her final card is showing, that to the end, she is fighting to maintain her ground. She is always in a defensive position, always having to defend. It's getting tired. Okay. Trump will abandon her. She will be left out in the dark. That people will be walking away from her. And as her final card, we've got the Hangman. So we're talking about somebody who made a conscious decision. Let's not be feeling sorry for this chick. She made a conscious decision to almost like self-sacrifice. She was prepared to do this for, God bless her, the greater good. And it didn't work out so well for her. And it's not going to work out so well for her in the future. It very, very much looks like going forward, she is going to be boxed in, held in place. She is not going to have a whole lot of upward mobility. She is, this isn't going to end well for her. Her reputation will be shattered, her trust, to some degree even her faith. Financially, she's going to take a hit for this that will be incredibly difficult for her to recover from. Okay, so Well, I do not wish evil on anybody because, that would be not good. I gotta say, this is kind of a little comforting because, damn, life is hard enough. It's just tough enough to do the right thing and be the right person and do things with good intentions. When you don't have high government officials standing there, bold-faced lying to you, making up stories, living in alternative universes, it's hard enough. The American people should not have to spend so much of their waking time trying to sort through and scramble through the crap to just get a basic understanding of what is going on with their government. So, I'm hoping to some degree that's helpful, that's comforting to a few of you. I know I got a bit of a charge out of it, must say. So, I thank you once again for joining me. If you have enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, comment. I really appreciate it. It just kind of tickles my little heart. So take care, be well, and we will see you again soon. Bye-bye now.